the big news in America is the liberal world is having a meltdown. Here, can I find the? Let me see if I can find. Was it MSNBC? They're MSNBC Trump meltdown. Let's see what I was on. Search that on Twitter. See what I come up with, because there's going to be some funny stuff there. Meltdown. Okay, I'm seeing lots of images of it, but I need the video, right? And the video is so much funnier. Oh, here we go. Thank you very much. On the fine. So how do I download this? Here I go over here. Here I go. Doink. Oh, where to get the link? Go to there. And I go to here. I go there. Doink. But I'm sure I can find better, right? Because there's so much insanity going on. So if you do not know, right, The Face of Evil is a very important episode of Doctor Who to watch to understand American politics right now, right? Weirdly enough, but that is true. The Face of Evil is that this is why you come to my channel, right? To understand what's going on in politics right now, you must know and understand the Face of Evil very well, right? Because if you don't know the Face of Evil, Doctor Who shows up on a planet, right? It's TC3, but it's okay. He shows up on a planet. I like this planet. He meets Leela. Good move, right? And Louise Jameson, freaking awesome. But none of this is the point. The point is this, that there are two weirdly primitive tribes, and they're being controlled by unseen force, the unseen godlike entity. Apparently the Doctor is the devil incarnate, as he sees his giant face carved into a mountain, Mount Rushmore style, right? So turns out what happened was this: there was a spaceship that had a computer on it that was a sentient computer that somehow had lost some of its settings. So the Doctor recorded his own sentience, his personality onto the computer. What he didn't realize was the computer wasn't really having a fault. It was evolving. It was about to become a new life form. So essentially this new silicon life form was born with multiple personalities fused into it, right? Because the Doctor put his personality into it. But part of this thing believed very clearly, this computer believed that he was the Doctor. The Zoanna was the name of the computer. Believed he was the Doctor. And so when the Doctor arrived, he couldn't cope with the Doctor's existence because it disproved his existence, right? And so they set about doing whatever they could to destroy the Doctor, up to and including destroying itself and half the planet. So that explains American politics, right? Because Donald Trump, okay, from a theological point of view, right? I think Donald Trump is here to do a very important thing. And I know that, again, I like to give you an insight into my insane worldview, right? And it really is, because I got very good friends who are like very staunchly Democrat. They hate Trump with every fiber of their being. And they're so bonkers, I can't even, I don't talk to them about it. They always want to talk to me about it, right? They always want to start a conversation about it, and they watch MSNBC. At least they used to. I know one of them stopped because they just made them depressed, right? But they watched MSNBC and they thought, because they've given these simplistic arguments, right? And they thought they could, they had zingers, and they never did. But since during the Biden years, I've been really not punching down at them. That's what it felt like. If talking about politics is really punching down. But equally, I got a very good friend who's like a Republican who hates Trump as well. Doesn't hate Trump. This guy is a very moral person, right? I would say I describe him as a very moral person, with a very strong personal morality. So he finds Trump's lack thereof. Where I find it somewhat endearing, he doesn't like it, right? That's the difference. So I think Trump is an instrument in the end of days. Because nothing. I think that is the best explanation to explain what the hell. How's he still around? Right? How is it? He's around by divine decree. Is why he's around. This is what I think was going to happen with the 2020 election. I thought he would win, and I was wrong because I thought Trump is a part of moving the world into a messianic state, which I think we're fast heading to. Right? I think we're fast, going in that direction. Just not, the scenic route. But I think Trump is a major component in that, on the good side, weirdly enough. Anyway, so I thought it is because if you know theology, if you know how God works, which is as represented in the Bible, right? Like his sense of humor, right? God's sense of irony, right? Oftentimes Trump is the perfect hero. Messianic hero, much like King David, right? King David came from a very dubious heritage, right? He was from I think his mother's side was from the tribe of Moab, right? Moab, that means from my father, which if you know the story a lot, when Sodom and Gomorrah was burning down, so he was saved, and he got to hide in cliffs with his two daughters, his wife having turned to a pillar of salt. They thought they were the last person on earth, right? It was the apocalypse. They had to repopulate the world, and they both got, in subsequent nights, they got their father pregnant, got the father drunk, and they got themselves pregnant, right? And the name of the kid, one name came was Moab, from my father, right? So it's a very and they were not the best of people, right? They were kind of like scuzzy, icky people, right? So which is why that King David, who is like one of our greatest most revered figures, is comes from him, because we think the Satan, as you would call him, won't really pay attention. Oh look, scuzzy guy, Moab, no problem. Same thing with Trump. Trump was like, oh man, I understand why people think he's scuzzy. I find it endearing. That's just my own personality. But I always assumed, of course, he stood porn stars. Like, well, why wouldn't he? I mean, okay. Now, actually, I don't think so. Right? I think the hounding of Donald Trump has actually made me feel that he is a more moral person than I thought he was, right? It's really, honestly, you look at his kids and you look at Joe Biden's kids, it's not even close. Like, Biden's kids are a mess. They're awful. Oh, and they're not happy, right? They don't strike me as being happy. Well, Trump's kids are all seem to be very together, decent, professional people. So anyway, if we are living through a redemption, was it? I think it's been modeled on previous redemptions. The archetypal one is the Exodus from Egypt. Now, the last hurdle we had to get over to be able to experience the Exodus was the Paschal Lamb. Passover is coming up 2 months. Is it 2 months? It's more like 6 weeks. Right, the Paschal Lamb, right? It's like one of the most central holidays in the Jewish calendar. So, which is essentially a shawarma with lamb, right? That's why it is called the Paschal Lamb. Anyway. So, what was the big deal about that? That the lamb was the god of the Egyptians, right? Lamb was the Lamb was the. Literally, yeah, they worship lamb. Now, don't get me wrong, I like lamb too, but no, it was worshipped as holy by the Egyptians. So therefore, getting it and killing it, right, publicly, and then putting its blood on your doorpost and saying, "I believe in God. I don't believe in your bullshit. I believe in God." Right. So I think Trump is basically the same thing. He is anti every false value, right? He's anti all leftism, obviously. He's anti-intellectualism, like so much anti-intellectualism. Like you would look at him and go, he's the one who had the best presidency ever. Really? And don't get me wrong, I like Trump. I like him a lot, right? But we have to know about Doctor Who, right? Zoanon, right? But the thing, what Trump does is he disproves their reality, just in the same way that Doctor disproves Zoanon's reality, right? He disproves their reality in that he highlights how wrong they are about everything. Like I find we live in an age where people live in palpable terror. Like there's this kid who's been replying with like several sock puppets. It's really sad. I'll do it at some point. Was it one of my what was I going to say? We chat with this guy on the over his comments. He was upset that I did sexualized pictures of Billy Gibson. I just see somebody else replying on this. Okay, fine. I can't believe it's still going on. It's beyond me, right? This guy can't not be wrong. That's the thing. We live in an age where people are terrified to be wrong, right? And most people were wrong about Trump, right? I get it. It was counterintuitive, but you were wrong. Most people were wrong. We have world peace, best economy of our lives, and not by accident, right? So I thought when the 2020 election was going down that Trump was going to win. And then when he didn't, I thought that all the cheating was going to be exposed. And then, it will crush the evil of the left. But no, it was a much longer, slower plan, right? Where they said, okay, I'll show you what it's like. With Uncle Joe Biden, right? You'll get to see what life is like, with going that path. And also, you got to understand, I'm God, I control the world. So they did that, and it just destroyed it, right? It's absolutely destroyed. I really do believe he's so evil, Biden, and I do believe that he's raped children, including his own. I really do believe that, right? I mean, that Ashley Biden stuff is creepy, right? So I believe he was punished by having his free will taken away, and that's why he was so supportive to Israel, right? Just in the same way Pharaoh had his free will taken away, and he chased after the Jews. In the Yul Brynner 10 Commandments movie, right? Or Charlton Heston, depends how you want to say it. They go to Yul Brynner when the Jews are. They said, "You're not a god. You're not even a man." And he goes, "Oh, son of the giant. So if I spoken, so shall it be." Right, that's what it is. I've done the best bit for you now. Yeah, he skipped the whole movie. Anyway, I digress. So Trump just disproves their existence, and that's why they're so insane. So they've destroyed their entire legal system. Right, there's nobody, like people are running out in New York. Businesses running from New York because they know there's no law there anymore. Right, the New York judiciary is just a joke. They've made themselves into a joke, and they made New York a place that you must divest from. Like, it's not safe to be there. Maybe one day the junta won't like you, right? Mr. Wonderful, who was no Trump fan, going on every show he could to say, get the f out of it. Anyway, so one of the things they tried to do is to say that Trump can't be allowed to go on a ballot because he has committed an insurrection, right? An insurrection. So a few problems with that. Firstly, he was never convicted of committing an insurrection, weirdly enough, right? I don't think the evidence points to an insurrection at all, right? It didn't fit the facts at all. There was and it seems to be more a pretext for a political witch hunt in which the FBI have become synonymous with the KGB or the Stasi, right? It's essentially they're the same with the January 6th people. It's disgraceful, right? They've destroyed the whole system. Why? Because they're terrified of Trump. They are terrified of Trump. So amazingly, the Supreme Court weighed in on if Trump can be removed from a ballot. And they said, well, essentially, if he was convicted of committing treason, you might be convicted of committing insurrection, you might be okay there. But you impeached him and you couldn't get it through, right? You didn't get conviction. So it's like but here's the thing: in their heads, he committed an insurrection, even though that allegation cannot stand up to any inspection whatsoever. And that's why liberals are programmed to go, oh, don't be ridiculous. How can you say there wasn't? Well, this, conspiracy theory, conspiracy theory. Well, you should believe what I believe, like Russian collusion won the 2016 election, but Jesse Smollett was lynched by white supremacists. Yeah, but you're not conspiracy theorists. That's how they program them. So not to question. And it's so transparent, the programming. I wish they could see it, dummies. Right. Anyway, so the point was this: yesterday, Supreme Court ruled 9-0, like not even close, that Trump can remain, that you can't remove Trump from any ballot. Right. And oh boy, the meltdown started. Right. The meltdown started with let's say this one. I haven't seen this one yet. But man, I've got too many of them here. Here's another one. Is this the same one? I don't know if yeah, this one. Yeah, okay. Let's see if this is the right one, because if it is, it looks priceless. Here we go. I didn't even download it. Disgrazia. Here we go. Save. This is the wrong one. Well, luckily, I found out before I dived headlong into it. Fine. This is the short one. There's one that's like 4 minutes long. I'm like, dude, come on. That is not doing that, baby. Doink. Download. One second. And like basically you've got to know like every single one of these legal things against all these cases against Trump, they're all bullshit. Literally every one of them is complete bullshit. There was no merit whatsoever. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So it came through yesterday that they can't remove it from the ballots. They're freaking out. Oh, let's look at this.
What else Jack Smith has developed, but we know from this probe, from Tim's work, that they established that the attack was premeditated, never planned to leave, started declaring it was impossible to lose on election night. We know from the evidence that was developed.
Wait, what? Well, again, what he's stating is correct as it happens, right? With the ballot count being where it was in Georgia. That weird jump of Biden, which you've never been able to explain, is impossible, right? But it happened, so clearly it happened. Even though, can we look at those ballots? No, are they kosher? Oh, of course they're kosher.
From his closest advisors in the West Wing, that the violence was something he was enthusiastic about because he, quote, knew they're not here to hurt me, end quote.
Again, this is just delusional batshit craziness, right? They weren't there to hurt anyone. But I love in their minds, they've made that up, that is reality, no matter what the evidence says. And really, the entirety of the evidence says completely, yes, there was a violent riot. It probably participated in and instigated entirely by the FBI, right? Or FBI sources, or how do you want to put it? Intelligence services assets, right? So yes, but weirdly, they didn't show you everybody else not rioting. Like they showed you. They showed you people rioting, but weirdly, they didn't show you them firing rubber bullets into the crowd unprovoked, right? They only showed you a reaction to that. That's weird, isn't it? It's like they're trying to make something up. Anyway, let's not knock it too hard.
We know that risking Mike Pence's life was part of the plan all along. Mm-hmm. No, he wasn't some...
Whose life was risked? Again, they genuinely think this all happened. They genuinely thought there was an attempt to overthrow the government with nothing. Nobody was armed, you dumb. I'm like, why'd they go? Well, because all you people are too stupid. No, No, you're the dummy. You're the dummies for buying this bullshit. I mean, my God, I can't believe how dumb they are. And that's really the reason they can't believe anything. Like, well, but he didn't do anything. No, it didn't happen. But no, it did. We saw it. CNN told me. CNN told me.
Collateral damage. He was the target of the violence. Trump was fine with it. And we know that—
What violence? The only violence was, what's his name? I don't want to say Ashley Bobbitt, but wasn't that the person who cut her husband's penis off in the 90s or the 2000s? But it might be, right? Babbitt maybe. Shot weirdly by the for no reason by the Capitol Police.
that the people who carried out the acts are people that Trump plans to pardon so that they're at the ready should he need them again. What part of this is there any suspense about in this country?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Like, again, what an insane... It's detached around. Okay, for Trump to have done all the things you believe he has done, he needed to be convicted of doing them. He wasn't. It's just like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, he wasn't.
And what I've been trying to understand and figure out with your help, it's what's the motivation behind it all?
The law. Because here's the thing. You insane weirdos believe your own bullshit so much, you think your word is law, even though it is detached from reality, which is, I guess, why you're all into, like, the trans thing, right? And I have a penis, but my word says it's a vagina. My word says it's a female penis, not vagina. I forgot. Yeah. My word is law. And that's really, I guess, what it's all about.
What are the fears that block us from holding this man accountable? Is it the millions of Americans that seem to support him? Is it the fear that somehow...
Okay, it's that you're batshit crazy. You're fucking out your mind, darling. They're the same ones. You're Mr. Bonkers. It's not hard. It's not hard to work out.
How the very fabric of the country will be ripped apart? What is...
You're literally ripping the fabric of the country apart, right? They want him as a nominee. He is the front runner to win. I'm sorry you don't like it.
What does it mean for us to willingly risk the very foundation of the rule of law for this guy? For what?
Okay, but you're tearing the law right. I'll give you an example. How about New York, right? New York, they said that, you know, that building deal you had? He said, yeah. The one you made lots of money from? Yeah. And all your investors made a lot of money? Yeah. And the backers made a lot of money? Yeah. Everybody's great from it. Yeah, you put up your property at Mar-a-Lago as a collateral. Yeah, we valued it at $1 billion. It was, and the banks loved it. It was all perfect. And then it all worked out great. So, well, we say that that property is actually only worth $18 million, even though there's a place there's properties right next to it where there are 1/20th the size that are worth more than that. But no, we say that. Right? We say that. So take me to court. Said, oh, we did. So where's my trial? There's no trial. What we just decided. The judge said, yeah, he's a lying piece of shit. Mar-a-Lago's not worth that. But Mar-a-Lago is worth that. No. So now we're going to trial how much you owe. And that's essentially how it went. It's like, there is no law. There is no law. It's insane, right? It's absolutely insane. And they burn it down because they can't have Trump exist. Because Trump proves what they believe to be false.
They've done.
First thing it proves false is he doesn't know how to tie a tie.
Evidence has been before us, and we can go through it over and over and over again. Yeah. I don't know why Jack Smith didn't, charge him, Andrew. You might know. I don't know why.
With what? And they're desperate to charge him something. With what? And they will. They're going to try everything. But here's the bottom line. And this has really been my North Star all the way. And it's been, I have to tell you, roundabout, I've pretty much been proved right. right? It's been like by time has been completely off, right? Completely and totally off, like years off. But listen, I witnessed in my local community the worst of this sin called lashon hara, right? The speaking evilly, like, and it was done by the rabbi, right? Which his job is to bring people to God, not drive them away from God, right? So I was running around for years afterwards, saying there's got to be something bad happen because of that. Right, I think God's very pissed off. This is simplistic terms, but I think God's very pissed off about that. And I think there could be a real problem. Like, normally there's direct anti-Semitic violence. So I was expecting something bad to happen, and then when I figured, a couple of years gone by, nothing's happened. I'm wrong. Chill out, Tzvi. Literally, and then, boom, October 7th, right? Literally at the same, million. So I saw the worst, was it lashon hara, breaking these commands that I could ever conceive of, and I saw the worst anti-Semitic violence, right? And Jewish law absolutely ties them together to be indivisible. Right? Now, I'm the only one who really believes that, though, right? I spent like 2 years going, nearly 3 years. We're all shit's gonna hit the fan. Oh my God! Oh, you're crazy. Sweet. You don't know. You just want revenge. Right? But nobody actually fucking listened. And then October 7th happened. Now, I'm sorry. It was a couple of years, but the worst of this thing, lashon hara, and the worst anti-Semitic violence. The trouble is, people think that people put too much store in their own little brains. Their own little brains say, "No, talking shit about each other can't result in that." No, but the Old Testament says very clearly opposite, right? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Anyway, so I think I've been right. More than I've been wrong, and that really is my North Star. That I try and look at and think about what does God want, and I think the function of Trump in the world is to destroy the credibility of any and all system that isn't God, and I think he seems to be doing that. Frankly, yes. Okay, because look at this meltdown. Oh, it's so sweet.
It's baffling. And from my vantage point...
Baffling for you.
Right? It just shows that some people are above the law.
Yeah, called Joe Biden. Right? Let's have a quick look at CNN as well. This is a short clip. But their intense meltdown.
Look... Unfortunately for...
And this woman, Dana, she must be the dumbest person ever to be on TV. And there are so many dumb people to be on TV. She is unbelievably... I wouldn't be surprised if she isn't a Jim Henson puppet, right? She is dumb. She is so insanely dumb.
America... The court isn't necessarily wrong that this is the way the framers wanted it to be. They wanted Congress, the people who are closest to their constituents, to be able to make the rules and the laws.
Yeah. So why are you crying now?
That doesn't change the fact that because of gerrymandering in the House and all kinds of other issues, they're not doing their job on a lot of these big issues.
Yeah, I know. They haven't impeached Biden. They didn't impeach Mayorkas. They should be. Every Republican DA should be filing these bullshit charges against Biden. I mean, is there any evidence about his racketeering that hasn't come out yet? It's crazy.
Yeah. I agree. It's very unlikely, close to impossible that Congress will take action. But this is now a fair question that Manu Raju, Melanie Zanona should be asking members of Congress. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to pass legislation that would give us rules for how this works? It could only be in the future.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.